The wind howled through the narrow city streets, carrying with it the chill of winter. Emily pulled her thin coat tighter around her shoulders as she held her daughter Lily's small hand. Her shoes were worn, her steps slow from exhaustion, but she kept walking with quiet determination. The bakery's warm glow was a beacon in the distance. Lily's eyes lit up, and she tugged at her mother's hand. "Mommy, bread?" she asked, her voice filled with hope. Emily smiled faintly, though her heart was heavy. She slipped her hand into her pocket and felt the cool weight of the coins inside. It was all she had left, enough for one loaf of bread, just one. She took a deep breath and whispered to herself, "This has to be enough." For tonight, pushing open the bakery door, the scent of fresh bread wrapped around them like a blanket, Emily stepped up to the counter, placing her coins on the worn wooden surface. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Just one loaf of bread, please." The baker, an older man with kind eyes, glanced at the coins and then at Emily's tired face. He didn't ask questions. He wrapped the loaf, sliding it across to her silently. Emily's fingers shook as she picked it up. She forced a smile for Lily, breaking off a small piece and handing it to her. Lily's eyes sparkled as she took a bite, her hunger momentarily forgotten. Emily, however, only held the remaining bread close, her stomach twisting with emptiness she refused to show. In the corner of the bakery, at a small wooden table, sat a man in a tailored coat. His posture was calm, but his eyes were sharp, quietly taking in every detail of the scene unfolding before him. His name was Mr. Anderson. To the world, he was a powerful CEO, wealthy, respected, and seemingly untouchable. But tonight, he was simply a man sipping coffee in silence, watching a mother's quiet sacrifice. He noticed Emily's worn-out coat patched in places. He noticed her shoes scuffed and soaked from the cold. And most of all, he noticed how she smiled at her daughter, pretending that everything was fine, even as she gave away the larger portion of bread to the little girl. Something stirred deep inside him. It was a memory he had buried long ago, of his own mother, struggling just as Emily was now. He remembered the night she went hungry so that he could eat, the way she had smiled through her pain. His throat tightened as the past and present blurred before his eyes. Emily turned to leave, clutching the bread, ready to step back into the cold night. She had no idea anyone had been watching. Then a voice broke the quiet. "Wait." Emily froze. Slowly, she turned to see Mr. Anderson standing from his table. His voice was deep but gentle, carrying a weight she couldn't quite place. "You should get more," he said simply. Emily blinked, confused and embarrassed, her cheeks flushed with heat. "Excuse me," she asked, thinking she must have misheard. "I said," Mr. Anderson repeated, stepping closer, "get more, bread, milk, whatever you need." He pulled a sleek card from his wallet and handed it to the baker. "Put it all on this." Emily's eyes widened. She shook her head quickly, clutching Lily closer. No, I can't accept this. You don't even know me." Mr. Anderson's gaze softened. "You've already given me more than you know," he said quietly. "You reminded me tonight what real strength looks like." His words left her speechless. The baker, sensing the sincerity, began gathering bags of food, bread, milk, cheese, fruit, even small treats for Lily. Emily's hands trembled as she tried to protest again, but Lily clapped her hands with joy. "Mommy, look," she giggled. Emily's eyes brimmed with tears. The weight of her pride battled with the relief of knowing her daughter wouldn't go hungry tonight. The counter filled with bags until Emily could barely carry them all. She looked at the man in disbelief, her lips trembling as she whispered, "Why are you doing this?" Mr. Anderson crouched down so he was level with Lily, who hugged a bag of rolls like it was treasure. He smiled softly. "Your mom is a hero," he told the little girl. "Don't ever forget that." Emily pressed a hand to her mouth, trying to contain her tears. Then he turned his gaze back to Emily. "You want to know why I'm helping you?" he said gently. She nodded, barely finding her voice. "Yes, I don't understand." He took a deep breath. "Because once, when I was young, my mother stood in this same place. She spent her last coins on bread, just like you did. A stranger stepped in and helped us. That moment changed everything for me. Without it, I might not be here today. Tonight, it's my turn to pass it on." Emily's tears spilled freely now. The bakery felt silent, the world outside forgotten. For a moment, it was just two people, one who had once been broken and one who still carried that weight. With her arms full of food, Emily stepped out of the bakery into the cold night. But the cold didn't bite as sharply anymore. The weight she carried wasn't of burden, but of blessing. Lily skipped happily beside her, humming a tune, her little face glowing with joy. She had no idea the depth of what had just happened, only that tonight there would be more than bread on the table. Emily looked up at the dark sky, her breath rising in clouds. For the first time in a long time, she felt hope warming her chest. Someone had seen her, someone had cared. Back inside the bakery, Mr. Anderson watched from the window, a faint smile touching his lips. He remembered the promise he had made to himself years ago, that if he ever had the chance, he would be the stranger who made a difference. Tonight he had kept that promise. As Emily and Lily disappeared into the night, the narrator's words linger like a whisper of truth. Kindness costs nothing, yet it can change everything. That night, a single mom found hope again, not because of bread, but because a stranger cared enough to say, "Get more." In a world where so many walk past without noticing, one act of kindness became the spark that changed everything. Emily entered the bakery that night with nothing but a few coins and a heavy heart, but she left with more than food. She left with hope, dignity, and the reminder that humanity still exists. For Mr. Anderson, it wasn't about money or charity. It was about honoring the compassion that once saved him and showing that kindness is a circle. It always finds its way back. And for Lily, it was a memory that would shape how she saw her mother, not as someone who struggled, but as someone who was strong, selfless, and loved beyond measure. The lesson is simple yet profound. Sometimes the smallest gesture, one word, one act, one choice can rewrite someone's story.